Imagine you're a detective. You've been handed a case file. Inside, a book, 240 pages, written by hand in perfect flowing script, beautifully illustrated, clearly organized into sections. It looks like a medieval science textbook, except for one problem. Nobody in 600 years has been able to read a single word. Not one word. The world's greatest codebreakers tried. The men who cracked Nazi codes in World War II tried. The CIA tried. The NSA tried. Alan Turing, the father of modern computing, had a copy on his desk. All of them failed. This is the Voynich Manuscript, the most mysterious book in human history. And today, we're going to investigate it like detectives, because in 2024 and 2025, something changed. For the first time in 600 years, researchers believe they may finally be closing in on the truth. Let's start with the evidence. What do we actually know? The book was carbon dated in 2009. The vellum, the calf skin it's written on, dates to between 1404 and 1438. So it was made in the early 15th century. Somewhere in Central Europe, the text flows from left to right, like English or Latin. It has consistent grammar patterns. It has word frequencies that match real languages. Linguists say, whatever this is, it was written by someone who knew what they were doing. It's not random scribbling. It's not gibberish. It follows rules, real rules. The problem is, nobody knows what those rules are. The book is divided into sections: botanical, with illustrations of plants; astronomical, with charts of stars and planets; biological, with drawings of naked women in strange pools of liquid; pharmaceutical, with jars and containers; and a final section that appears to be continuous text, possibly recipes or instructions. For what? Nobody knows. Now let's follow the trail. Where did this book come from? In 1912, a Polish-American book dealer named Wilfred Voynich was searching through a chest of old manuscripts at a Jesuit villa near Rome. And there it was, hidden among hundreds of other books. He bought it immediately. He knew it was something extraordinary. Inside the book, he found a letter, written in 1666 by a Prague doctor named Johannes Marcus Marci. The letter was addressed to Athanasius Kircher, the most famous scholar in Europe at the time. It read, "This book was once the property of Emperor Rudolph II of Bohemia. He paid 600 gold ducats for it." 600 gold ducats. In today's money, roughly $100,000. For a book nobody could read. Emperor Rudolph believed it was written by Roger Bacon, a 13th century English friar who was considered a wizard by his contemporaries. Was he right? We don't know. Roger Bacon died 150 years before the book was made. But somebody powerful wanted it badly enough to pay a fortune for it. Now here's where our investigation gets serious. Let's look at who tried to crack this, and why they all failed. William Friedman, the man who broke Japan's most advanced military cipher in World War II. The man the US government called the greatest cryptographer who ever lived. He formed a team of expert codebreakers specifically to crack the Voynich Manuscript. They worked on it for years. Friedman eventually concluded that the manuscript might be written in a constructed language, an invented language with its own grammar and rules. He died never having solved it. Then came the NSA, the most powerful signals intelligence agency in the world. They assigned their best analysts, Nothing. The CIA attempted their own analysis. Nothing. In 2004, the FBI joined the effort. Nothing. And then, in 2025, an artificial intelligence trained on 37 million historical texts was turned loose on the manuscript. The AI identified patterns, it produced possible translations, and academic linguists are still arguing about whether any of it makes sense. 600 years, the greatest minds in human history, and still not one confirmed decoded word. Every detective considers all suspects, so let's look at the theories. Theory 1, it's an alien language. Seriously, some researchers have argued the manuscript was left by extraterrestrial visitors. The plants don't exist on Earth. The astronomical charts don't match our sky. The women in the pools are performing rituals unknown to any human culture. We can dismiss this one. Probably. Theory 2, it's an elaborate hoax, a 15th century forgery designed to fool collectors and sell for a fortune. The problem? Carbon dating confirms the vellum is genuinely medieval, and the linguistic patterns are too complex and consistent for random invention. Creating a 240-page fake language with real grammatical rules would be extraordinarily difficult. Theory 3, it's a lost language. The language of a civilization that no longer exists, possibly connected to the Cathars, a religious sect that was violently destroyed by the Catholic Church in the 13th century. They may have encoded their forbidden knowledge before they were wiped out. Theory 4, and this is the one that shocked researchers in 2024. It's a medical textbook about women's secrets. In the Middle Ages, writing openly about gynecology, about menstruation, childbirth, and abortion was considered dangerous. Physicians used codes and euphemisms. Those strange women in pools. Researchers now believe they represent women's bodies and medical treatments. The unknown plants, possibly medicinal herbs described in code to protect the knowledge from the church. Now we come to the most recent evidence, the clues that nobody had before. In September 2024, scientists used multispectral imaging on the manuscript for the first time. This technology can reveal ink that has faded or been erased, invisible to the naked eye for centuries. What they found stunned researchers. Hidden beneath the visible text, there are additional markings, corrections, erasures. Someone went back and changed things. This tells us something critical. The manuscript was actively worked on. It wasn't written in one sitting by a madman. It was edited, revised, like a real book. Then in 2024, researchers Keegan Brewer and Michelle Lewis published a study that changed everything. They compared the manuscript's illustrations to medieval medical texts about women's health. The match was striking. The pools of liquid, baths used in gynecological treatments, the tubes and pipes, medical instruments, the unknown plants, herbs used in women's medicine. If they're right, the Voynich Manuscript isn't a cosmic mystery. It's a doctor's handbook, hidden in code, to protect knowledge that the Church considered dangerous. And in 2025, an AI found something else entirely. Patterns in the text that match medieval gambling terminology, dice games, card games, secret betting systems. Is it possible the manuscript contains multiple layers, medical knowledge hidden inside what appears to be a gambling guide? Nobody knows yet. So where does our investigation leave us? Let's review the evidence. We know the book is real, carbon dated to the early 1400s. We know it was written by someone intelligent. The language patterns are too complex for random invention. We know powerful people paid fortunes for it. Emperor Rudolph paid $100,000 in today's money. We know the greatest minds in history failed to crack it, from Alan Turing to the NSA to modern AI. And we know that in 2024 and 2025, for the first time, researchers are finding real connections to medieval medicine, to women's secret knowledge, to gambling codes, to hidden layers of text invisible for 600 years. Here's what I believe. The Voynich Manuscript was written by someone who had knowledge that was dangerous. In medieval Europe, dangerous knowledge got you burned at the stake. So they hid it in a language nobody could read, in illustrations that looked strange enough to confuse, in layers within layers. They built the perfect prison for their secrets, a prison so perfect that 600 years later, with all the technology humanity has ever built, we're still standing outside the door. But the door is cracking open, and what's inside may change everything we thought we knew about the Middle Ages. The Voynich Manuscript sits today in the Baedeker Rare Book Library at Yale University. Anyone can go and see it. Anyone can request to hold it. You can even download the entire manuscript online, every single page, for free. Millions of people have looked at it. Thousands of researchers have dedicated their lives to it. And yet, it keeps its secrets. Maybe it always will. Or maybe the answer is closer than we think, hidden in a pattern nobody has noticed yet, waiting for the right person to find it. Could that person be you? The full manuscript is available online. The link is in the description. Look for yourself and tell me in the comments, what do you think it says? If this investigation kept you watching, subscribe. Because next week, we're investigating another mystery that has never been solved. 117 people vanished without a trace. An entire colony, gone overnight. No bodies, no blood. Just one word carved into a tree. That story is next.